Hi everybody, it's been a minute. I haven't made a video in like a month, but that's okay. We're here now. If you want to know what's been going on with my life, my last upload is just a little bit about why I haven't been posting as much on YouTube, but that's neither here nor there. Today we're going to talk about the team members on an IEP team and who you can expect to see at an IEP meeting. And also who you can request to have there if you choose to. As the parent, you have the right to ask for a lot of things. So let's talk about that. According to the law, IDEA, which is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, that's it. There is a section that sets out who is part of an IEP or an individualized education program team. Now that doesn't mean that those people are all necessarily going to be at the IEP meeting right around the table with you, but these are the people that should be on the team. These are all of the people who will be providing input, who will be doing maybe assessments, but are somehow related to developing and then implementing the individualized education plan and program that you develop together. So here are those people. Number one, the parents. You have an essential role in the IEP team because you have information about your child that nobody else has. So that should be brought to the table, discussed, and incorporated into the plan of how your child is going to be supported and set up for success in the classroom. So, parents, at least one general education teacher. So this is going to depend on what the current program is that your child is in, but there should be one general education teacher at least that is participating in developing and writing and implementing the plan to the extent that is possible. At least one specialized education teacher. So one special ed teacher, there may be more that your child has throughout the day, throughout their program, but there needs to be at least one special education teacher present on the team. Next is a representative of the school district. So a lot of times this person is referred to as the LEA, which stands for the local educational agency. So the LEA, or whoever that person is representing not only the school district, but they also have knowledge of the general education curriculum and also all of the available supports that are available to your child. So they kind of have the understanding of the school district as a whole, what is available, the general education curriculum, and they are representing the money. The LEA is the educational agency. So you need someone representing the school district there. I guess there I was kind of referring to actually in the meeting, but there is, as part of the team, someone who represents the school district. Next, you need someone who can take the evaluation results and interpret them and put them into, like, what does that mean for an educational program? So what's the implication of that? How do we make that translate from what we're seeing as results to our program? So that person may be someone who was already named. It could be one of the special ed teachers, or it could be someone like a school psychologist, but there has to be someone who is able to interpret the evaluation results, explain them, and tell you what that means as far as implementation for education. Next, number 6, this is kind of at the parent's discretion, or if these people are involved in the team, this may or may not happen if they have related services. So OT, PT, speech, counselors, those people may be part of the team if they are part of the team. If your child doesn't have OT or does not need OT, then you're not going to have an OT on the team. The wording in the law at this part says at parent discretion, any other individual that has special knowledge or expertise regarding the child. So, for example, if you decided to get an independent educational evaluation, say from an outside psychologist or a neuropsychologist, whoever. If you have someone on your team outside of school that has evaluated your child, has been treating your child, you are allowed to invite them into the IEP team. So that may look like asking them to attend the IEP meeting or calling in to the IEP meeting if that's more appropriate. But those people can be pulled in. You have the right to invite someone else into this space because you are part of the team. It's always a good idea to let the school know if you're inviting someone else outside of the school team into the meeting, just to give them a heads up. But other people that might be included in this could be an educational advocate, again, outside professionals or people who treat or see your child outside of school. Or even, if you are going as a parent, this is kind of not necessarily as part of the team. This is a side note. If you are going into a meeting, and let's say you are a single parent or your partner is not available to attend the meeting with you, and you know that it would be helpful for you to have emotional support or someone else who is kind of like at least a step removed from the situation to be there with you, you have the right to bring someone with you. Again, let the school know that someone else is coming with you, but if you have a friend, a family member, an educational advocate, like I said, or someone who has not just some information about your child, but just like a listening ear. Because let's say, for example, you are taking all of this in and you maybe you know that you get emotional or get stuck on certain parts. That is another person who can be available to listen, to maybe take notes so that afterwards they could be like, hey, did you hear this part? Or, someone else to bounce ideas and recall the meeting afterwards. That is okay. You are allowed to do that. If the school district says like, no, we can't have any outside people in there, you can say, excuse me, according to IDEA, at parent discretion, I am allowed to bring in someone who has special knowledge about my child. And that could be a family friend or a relative, someone who is invested and supportive for you. So hopefully they won't push you back too much, but just know that you can do that. You can bring a support person. The last person on this team, when appropriate, is the child, especially as your child is getting older and is able to speak for themselves, is able to advocate for themselves. This is mandatory at some point when they get closer to transition age. The child is a part of that team. But even before that, if you feel like your child wants to say something on their behalf or has something to provide input into, maybe it's not appropriate for them to be there for the entire meeting, that could be 2 hours long or whatever, but if there's a time when they come in and kind of share what their experience is and what they hope for the next year, what works, what they need more support in, they are able to and should be a part of that decision-making process when it's appropriate. So those are the people that are involved in the actual IEP team. Like I mentioned, not all of those people necessarily have to attend the IEP meeting. They may, but there are times when certain people aren't necessarily needed. If their areas are not being changed or discussed at the meeting, they can be excused. However, that needs to be presented to the parent ahead of time and you need to agree to that. But if you want the child's OT, PT, speech therapist, whoever, to attend, make sure you verbalize that and make sure you expect that and they know that you expect that. Because sometimes with related services in particular, we don't necessarily always get invited to IEP meetings. We provide input, we provide our goals or our whatever we have done, but not always are we included. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes there are people who can share the OT results, whatever it may be, but that should also be told to you ahead of time. So if there's someone that's missing from that, you can say, I want OT to be there. And if that can't happen on this stage, then let's look for another time when they can be. Again, you have the right to do that as well. You need to agree to the people who are excused. some cases that's appropriate, that happens. It keeps the meeting a little bit more condensed. You're talking about the real issues at hand. So if someone's input in the actual physical meeting isn't super necessary, you can excuse them. However, I will say that as a parent, you should not be the one who is excused. Do not agree to an IEP meeting if you can't attend it. You can offer other times. You can say, hey, look, I'm not available at that time. We need to reschedule. But don't ever just be like, oh, it's fine. Go ahead. Have the meeting without me, because you are an integral part of the team and you need to be present. You need to be a part of the team. So to recap, someone's attendance doesn't have to be necessary if their topic is not being really discussed. But if someone else, like say OT, does have input and they cannot attend, they can be excused if they provide all of their information ahead of time. However, you need to agree with that. If you don't agree, find another time for everyone to be present. So that's it. Wow, this might be the shortest video I've ever done. So that is, in a nutshell, the people who are on the IEP team, and then also who of those people needs to be present in the meeting and who can be written out, excused, doesn't have to attend, all of that jazz. But remember, parents, you've got to be there. You've got to be a part of it. Because nobody else knows your kid like you do. So drop a comment if you have questions. If you have topics that you'd like me to do next time, let me know. You can join me over on Instagram. I have a Facebook page. What else? Newsletter. Sign up in my, there's a link in the thing. All right, whatever. I'm done. Bye, guys.